through pass to Copeland! Oh, that's what we've been waiting for. Unbelievable timing on that. And it's the Tigers straight away. Game. Alley-oop to Copeland! What a start!
Welcome to the Ultimate SuperCoach and Fantasy Sports Show. You are now listening to the Insight Fantasy Sports Podcast.
Hello and welcome back to the Inside NBL Show, our weekly preview, our weekly review. It's a bit of everything. And look, we're heading into, what is it, round 18 now? The pointy end of the season. Look, as always, we are brought here by the Standard Squeeze, Ryan from Astute Newstead, and Bonus Bank. I'm the SuperCoach Matrix, and I'm here with my co-host, Dragons forward, Harm Sele Hammer, mate. I'm actually clutching at straws with that gig, but I said I was going to do it for the rest of the season. So, how was your weekend?
You've done well to this point, mate. Yeah, weekend was good. It was a little uneventful, but good to sit back, watch a bit of basketball. Moved up in the rankings like yourself, but what did you get up to?
I spent about 8 hours in the garden. So, I tell you what, you should see my edges next time you come by. Fuck, man, I tell you what, straight lines. Whew.
You are getting old.
Yes, I am. And I tell you what, followed out with a little bit of barbecuing on my Saturday night. You know, a little bit of beer can chicken. Drink half a bolter, put it in your chicken. Put it in the Weber, and I tell you what, let it burn.
Barbecuing alone, your style. Love it.
Yeah, it was good. Look, on today's show, we're going to cover the breaking news. We're going to go through how we went this week. We're going to go through our squeeze of the week, of course, the round 19 preview, cover some of the better scores in round 18. We're probably going to chat about some strategies over the next couple weeks, which is really important. Of course, you know, it's been open for 24 hours now. So we're probably going to go through the most traded in and out, our trade and captain thoughts, and answering all your questions along the way. Today's PSA deadline is Friday, 4:30 Australian Eastern Standard Time. So if you work till 5 o'clock, you've got to get in probably on Thursday, I'd say.
Yeah, well, my public service announcement is do your own research, because Matrix has messed this up on more than one occasion, but I'm pretty confident he's got it right this time.
I did check. I did get you to double check it and triple check. Not real good with the whole daylights. You know, you've got to take away and add an hour. Oh, yeah, I get confused.
Carry the one. I got you.
Thank God Rob's not here anymore. I was trying to work out when he was finishing work all the time.
Yeah. Perth's a different country.
Mate, yeah, exactly. Hey, should we cover some breaking news?
Let's break it.
Thanks, Sandra.
It's time for some news from around the league.
Mate, Sam Kekovich played 8 minutes and broke our hearts and his Achilles, right?
Yeah. This next round is going to be Silence of the Lamb. There's not going to be any lamb for us to be bringing into our teams, and it's causing a lot of headaches for a lot of teams. He was probably a lock for captain for a lot of us. It does not look good, does it?
Look, we're going to have a chat a bit later about who benefits, because it's a bit of a strange... It's actually really strange about who benefits when it comes to Lamb being out, because they don't have an instant replacement. But look, I have Lamb in my team. I brought him in last week, a week early, thinking I could play him on my single. And honestly, it was the difference between a good week and a great week.
Absolutely. I did the same. It's I was banking on a 30. Happy to cop that in my starting lineup to be set for these next couple. Absolutely throwing a spanner in the works, but this is what the pod's for, mate. We'll work through it together, and we'll hopefully come up with a solution by the end of the night.
Yeah, I tell you what, this is the therapy I need after a long weekend of NBL. So look, at least I don't have to talk to my wife about it since we do the podcast, eh?
I get the exact same comment. She loves this, so she doesn't have to hear me talk about NBL for the next week. Brilliant.
She just loves watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians while you're in here without your incessant whinging.
Pretty much.
Mate, Ninnis, getting closer to closing in on a contract. What do you see there?
Look, I'm seeing very similar to what's going on in Illawarra with Tatum. The word is that they're potentially going to offer him, which, look, he's done a pretty good job. Both teams, Illawarra and Adelaide, the rosters really haven't changed. And so I think it is a genuine influence of that coach. And so, yeah, look, he's in contention to come in next year. I know Gorge's name was getting thrown around, but I would not be surprised if Ninnis is back. And what that does also mean for us, I know we've had some questions during the week about, what's it mean for Adelaide if they find themselves out of contention for the play-in. I think they keep going hard and trying to win out because he's going to want that record to be as good as it can when he sits down at the negotiating table.
Yeah, and like I had that in my DMs, like, are people going to throw in the towel? They're going to keep playing hard if they want Ninnis to be the coach, and they're going to be trying to get as many wins as possible. And I think mathematically, I know that you've got a little segment coming in where you want to have a chat about it later. Mathematically, there's still a chance?
Mathematically, everyone's still a chance, including Southeast Melbourne, which is probably just shows how close competition's been this year. My God, they were pretty awful on the weekend, weren't they? They rocked up with their under 12 Division 3 squad, and to be fair, they made a game of it.
They turned up like a team that turned up in Crocs. And when, as a coach, when you see the other team rock up in Crocs, there's not much going on there.
Pretty much.
Mate, do we need to go through? Let's have a little bit of a chat about how we went this week. Would you like to go first?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you were throwing this week.
Yeah, I made no secret that as far as overall goes, I'm probably throwing it. Look, there's Brain who's jumped in with a question. I won't be talking to him tonight, considering I'm playing head-to-head against him this week. But I was throwing it for season long. So I ended up with 384, top 3%. A lot better than I expected, considering I started Lamb and I captained Kell, which was solid. Only Milton Doyle scored more than him, but sitting about 683, I think, overall. So, look, not horrendous, but not as good as you, mate. You had a stellar weekend.
Mate, I had 416, and respectable is a word that I'd use again. I think I've used it the last 3 weeks. I captained DJ. That didn't work. I had no jack jumpers, and Lamb got injured 8 minutes into the single. But I suppose having blokes like Humphrey and having blokes like Froling and Clark, Froling didn't go very well, but Clark still went all right. All just, marinating. Even the guys like my Todd Blanchfields and my Will McDowell-White chipped away there. Justin Robinson had a good game off the bench. Nobody really did that bad. And I suppose this goes with what Matty Granger said is need to go big or go home, need a pod or a pod captain. Well, I tried it out with a pod captain. I thought DJ 3J could have outscored Kell with some of the matchups. It didn't quite work out. Probably cost myself a few spots. But I moved up 42 spots into 433rd. So, still moving up a little bit every week.
You know what's just that little bit more impressive than your weekend, Metric?
What?
It's our Insight community team. 44th overall, despite starting Lamb. Mate, that's pretty impressive for the group, right?
Yeah, they got 406 this week, which was enough to move up 8 spots. And I know that the boys are already having a chat. I don't know if there's any girls in there in our Discord about what they're going to do this upcoming week. We have perfected the thumbs up and thumbs down rather than just liking comments to make it a little bit more streamlined. We're learning as well, guys. But yeah, so Inside Unlimited's been going off as well. It's something that we've rolled out. It's $25 a year. It gives you access to us to have a little bit of a chat. We of course cover all sports: NRL, AFL, NBA. Of course, our NBL and our BBL as well. You get all sports for $25 or $15 for just NBL. We're doing it free for the rest of the year, which is only a couple of weeks with NBL. But yeah, leading into next season, it's going to be a big portion. We're going to have late mail. You're going to get direct lines. We're going to be able to rate your team and give you individual tailored help.
Yeah. Might have to plug my abacus in and learn how this Twitter thing works, but I'm looking forward to it.
Mate, let's have a look at our squeeze of the week. Of course, it's always brought here today by the Standard Squeeze. Go get 15% on us through Insight 15. They've been extremely generous to us throughout the course of our 12 months. So we use all their products. But pop on the website, have a look at what they've got. They've got cool hats. They've got drinking gear. They've got coffee cups. They've got wine coolers. They've got it all. If you're struggling for a gift for anyone as well, there's plenty there. But Nathan from Trickshot has scored 512 points this week to get a 4-in-1 or Standard Squeeze pack. Wow. How he got there was captaining Trey Kell, having Doyle, Humphreys, McVeigh and Magnay starting, but still having DJ and Crawford on the bench, which scored exceptionally well. Congratulations, Nathan. You've won yourself a Standard Squeeze pack.
That'd have to be pretty close to the overall weekly winner, right? Is he driving away in a car? Yeah.
Maybe Dave's driving away in a car. I've been chatting to him.
Mitsubishi.
I've been chatting to him a little bit. 525 took out the week. So Trickshot was 5th overall for the week. Interesting week. But Dave is still holding out with the Do It For Jack team by 60 points. Mate, he would have to be sweating absolute bullets. He was a couple hundred up. He was 90 up. Now he's 60 up. I don't think he had Lamb, but oh, mate, wouldn't you be sweating if you were sitting number one just by a hair?
It's a nervous weight, isn't it? Like every decision is big. Who do I captain? Where's my pod? Like you'd be studying the teams below you, man. But this is, I mean, I've never been in that position. This is exciting. I'm excited for him. This is big.
Yeah. A new car. That's life changing.
Oh. Spoken like a true car salesman.
Mate, do you want to have a chat about you working out where everybody's going to land on the NBL ladder? Because I think that'll impact our strategy going forward.
Yeah, look, a few guys have. Well, we've been talking about it too over the last couple of weeks with, mostly Melbourne and Perth. You know, are they going to rest their stars? And pretty much what we've said is if they've locked up top spot, second spot, can't move up or down, that's probably the way we see them resting. But look, a little article on the NBL website today has sort of broken it down a bit. Look, and it's more of a logjam down towards that plane. So those guys are still playing, but look, Melbourne United has likely sewn up top position on the ladder, courtesy of their win over Southeastern Melbourne and Perth's defeat of New Zealand on the weekend. So Perth going down to New Zealand was big. If Perth had have won that, Melbourne lost, it would have been very, very tight for that first place finish, which would have had some implications for us saying, well, these guys aren't going to rest their players. What we're looking at now is, I think it's pretty set. Tassie can still mathematically finish second if they win their 2 and Perth lose their 3 remaining games. So I feel like this weekend we'll know for sure. There's enough that'll play out this weekend that we'll have a good idea for that last week what will happen. I don't see him resting in Perth. I mean, what are your thoughts? But like John really doesn't. Does he know how to call a sub? 4 guys play 38 minutes a game. I don't think he's got any other tricks.
I've actually felt like I was going to bring Joe Luala-Chul in this whole time, like Humphreys to Joe Luala-Chul this week. But I'm getting scared off by these exact thoughts. I
think
Joe Luala-Chul doesn't. Yeah,
I think he's the one who does play. He's missed so much lately with the personal leave or whatever he was on. You know, he's had a couple of good games. I think they're going to want to get some form into him leading into the playoffs because playoff JLA is going to be the difference maker.
Yeah, so maybe he's one that you could target. Like other guys so this week there's just a couple on doubles. It's Illawarra and it's New Zealand.
Yeah.
They're great apart from Lamb.
Yeah.
Now might nearly be a good time to have a chat about who benefits from Lamb being out. But round 20, there's 4, which is, of course, Illawarra in New Zealand. So if you can get any of those blokes, then great. Get them
Yeah.
in. But if you want to pot it up, it's Melbourne and Perth, which are
Yeah.
the 2 guys we were talking about that have locked in their spots.
Yeah. And what further impacts it too? Corey Blackledge has just jumped into the chat. There is a FIBA break in there as well. So there's another week where you're going to get your rest. Maybe they don't rest these guys because they, you don't have 2 weeks out of the game, do you? Like it's, I know it has happened in years gone by. I'm not seeing it really happening this year.
Okay.
Those squads are too deep.
Yeah, I definitely think if you're looking for a downgrade option and you're going somebody like Usher or someone, I don't see him. All I'm worried about is your Cottons. I'm probably your Delis, the older sort of players
Yeah.
on the teams, aren't we? Aren't we talking Travis probably still plays?
Yeah, potentially. Who are their matchups? Are we looking at blowouts? Ian Clark's one I could see getting arrested.
Yeah, he's been banged up. So
Yeah.
Perth are playing Illawarra and Perth are playing Tassie, which they'll want the win. And Melbourne are playing Cairns and Melbourne are playing Illawarra. So
yeah. Look, I'd be. Well, look, I'm going to say I'm semi-confident that they don't get rested, but let's wait till this week goes by and we might have a better idea. But yeah, there are teams that are playing for their lives.
Are you going to look to target people on a double this week? On a double this week and then a double the following week? And just really load up and have a starting 5 of Illawarra and New Zealand players?
I think the way you go is if they are legitimate players, you'll play them on the double and you'll write them out. So we're talking guys like Gary Clark, your Sam Frolings, what would have been a Lamb before the injury, your PJC. After that, though, it gets a little thin, doesn't it? Like, if you compare a Cotton, if you can get him in a week early, a Cotton versus, say, a Tyler Harvey or Justin Robinson on a double. So a Cotton single versus their double. Are we looking at pretty much the same numbers you'd expect?
I think so. I think Cotton drops 40 odd, and Justin Robinson's best game in weeks was 28 this week. It might cost you 10 points. You're not captaining either.
No. So I think, and it does save you for the week after where you've got a lot more, room to play with different teams on doubles. I think we've fallen into the trap time and time again this season where we've chased the double and it hasn't paid off because we've been chasing guys on a double who are probably subpar. And that's where I see Justin Robinson's and Tyler Harvey's inconsistent, haven't reached any great fantasy heights. It's not out of the question. And in fact, it's probably pretty reasonable to say Cotton has a 40 and Justin Robinson has a 15 and a 25 and they break even.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I agree with you.
Yeah. So I think that's sort of where we're looking at with this.
I think that covers some of the strategies. Again, as we did last week, our reviews are brought here by Ryan at Astute Newstead. You can get in contact with him. Hamo's Home Finance as well. You can use promo code INSIGHT and he'll give you an obligation-free finance quote to refinance your home, to find out how much you can borrow. He gets in contact with 40 different lenders to get you the best rate. But when we're talking about reviews of the previous games, we're probably just going to talk about the best players last week. And there was no one better than your boy, was there?
My man, Milton Doyle. He came through the goods, but once again, this guy just lets the game come to him, doesn't he? He's got a lot of Leroy Loggins about him. He, both games, you're watching the first quarter, I'm thinking, oh, man, he's not doing much tonight. And then all of a sudden you realise he's got 10 assists. He was solid. The Jackies were back this weekend. They were looking solid. McVeigh was another one who was looking really good. But yeah, look, top scored Doyle, which was really nice for those who had him. Only just behind him was Trey Kell, another guy that I had in my team. So,
I
what
have
did you see
mad
from the
regrets.
weekend?
I've got mad regrets from not bringing in bringing in DJ 3J instead of Milton Doyle and still having
Yeah,
120K in the bank.
yeah,
I think that gives me a lot more flexibility this week to maybe go a
yeah.
week early on a Cotton or one of those other guys on the double to finish the year. But look, DJ 3J can go big, and I was punting, but maybe I should have just went with Milton Doyle since he's only 11% owned anyway.
Yeah, look, I think sometimes we get carried away with we talk ourselves in and out of things with whatever stats we want to see. But look, Milton Doyle, despite what it appears to the eye test, it's been a little bit of a down year or sort of a down patch. He's still been great.
Yep.
He's under contract again next year. So he'll be back. He'll be a guy who'll feature heavily in our squads again. But yeah, look, 3J was a pod. It could have gone either way. And he didn't play bad. It's just that like Kell was great.
Yep.
And then they had times in those games where they were just getting outplayed as a team, especially against the Jackies. He still hit shots. He just didn't have all the extra stats we were hoping for.
Mate, he's got a 5-round average of 44. Not really going to bag out DJ 3J too much. Still had the 5th highest score for the week. We're still going to be chatting about him. Not completely disastrous. It's not like I'm talking about a 20. But just when I have a look at how many spots I could have got moved up by, I was going Milton Doyle, talked myself into a DJ 3J, and just got burnt a little bit.
Talking of getting burnt, I just saw Lamb. Not only did he snap his Achilles, he dropped like 60K.
Yeah,
That is brutal.
I'm glad I don't really need the money at the moment. You know what? I'm sitting here on a house full of cash. But yeah, that does hurt if that was your ticket to. Well, you probably weren't going to trade him out, to be completely honest. But he's not playing the rest of the SuperCoach season.
Exactly. It would have been nice to have that little bit extra up your sleeve, but like Global's just jumped into the chat saying Pinder, he balled out. He had a 53 on the weekend and looked all kinds of dominant.
Yep.
But the 60K that Lamb lost, probably what Pinder gained. So look, it's throwing a few little wrinkles in towards the end of the season, and I guess we just got to roll with the punches in this one and scrape together through these last 2 weeks.
Yeah, we've got to adapt. And Adelaide had Isaac Humphries with the 66 as well. Adelaide had 3 players in with the in the top 5. Of course, that's due to the double. But yeah, Pinder's the only guy in the top 8 that wasn't on a double. He was sensational.
Yeah. But it's also something we probably didn't see coming because he has been, if we're being completely honest,
Dog shit.
Yeah, exactly. It's not the Cairns Pinder we were hoping for that had come across to Perth. But hey, maybe he's peaking at the right time.
Jordan Crawford, 61. He's a firecracker. We could always expect it, but after so many down weeks, turned myself off. That was sort of the kind of player like DJ 3J that I took a punt on. DJ was just probably in better form at the time with a 5-round average of 44 instead of a 5-round average of 35.
Yeah, look, he's just got a very, very big variance between his best and his worst, and we've seen it before even on double headers. Like one game he has 2, and the next one he pops up for 50. He's a solid player. And we've said it before too. It's not often that you get Doyle and Crawford on at the same time, but that last game was clicking for the JJs. They were looking good. And remember, they've still got Majok Dengi to come back. Other news out of that game: Magnay versus Taj McCall versus Paddy Miller. WWE SmackDown.
Mate, Will Magnay's got a bit of fire in him, doesn't he?
Man, that was some cheap shots on him. I can't believe he even got like a suspended sentence or something. That hit that McCall gave him. That was ice hockey-esque.
Yeah, McCall and Miller were backing each other up that game.
Oh yeah, those guys were they're obviously talking, and Tars said, "Don't worry, man, I got him next play," and whack. Look, glad he came back the next games. It did look pretty ordinary when he was off, struggling to breathe, but he was impressive again too. 20 minutes, double the other game. He's got to be sixth man of the year, right?
Oh, I don't know who else is in the ballpark. It's not going to be Aaron Baines.
No, the answer is never Aaron Baines.
80K Aaron Baines.
Yeah.
Look, we'll chat about a couple more. Jack McVeigh, after probably, would we say disappointing? That was just a pretty midweek from Jack McVeigh. He was just happened to be on a double.
Look, the first game was a bit meh. I think he eked out like a low 20 or something. The second
19,
game was
yeah.
good. He had like 36, I think. He scored the ball well, had 26 actual points. He was only about 2 rebounds off a double-double. I think he finished with 8, and he had 7 at three-quarter time. So throwing a block, he was good. And the minutes were there, which is what I like about Jack. They don't really change their formula too often. He's very consistent to get that sort of low 30 minutes each game.
Gaz Clark with a 46. Maybe shoring up the fact that he's a genuine captain option this week.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Illawarra, they're that team that are playing for their season. They've snuck into fourth. It was fortuitous that Brisbane obviously lost to them, which made them leapfrog them. But that fourth spot is far from safe for them. First, second, third seem to be a lock. Fourth, and then fifth and sixth through the playoff. That's where the action is, and any of those teams competing for those spots they're going to be leaving it all out there. So I'd imagine Gaz to play some pretty heavy minutes. Get it, boy.
That's about everybody that I really want to talk about, except about how disgusting it is that Denzel Valentine goes and gets a 40 after ruining my season all fucking year.
Yeah,
and
last 2 games.
Just seriously.
Oh, better late than never, but way to wait until your season's irrelevant to actually perform.
Way to wait until I trade him out, I think. Look, the previews this week, we're probably going to be chatting about New Zealand. And look, in all fairness, we're going to be chatting about New Zealand and Illawarra. They're the only teams on a double this week. They've both got doubles the following week. This is brought to us by Bonus Bank, Australia's biggest match betting website. Look, yeah, you do get a discount on your first month, but you can just pop in, make an account, and get access to some of their tutorials to start. Just work about how you can use bookmakers against other bookmakers to make risk-free investments and, bank some cash, basically. Not too bad, but Illawarra and Adelaide. I've talked about Adelaide for so many weeks now. It's time to start letting it go, man.
Funny, considering the first half of the season we said we will not talk about Adelaide. It was almost like he who should not be named. Lord Voldemort was coaching the 36ers.
Yeah, they were Voldemort, but I tell you what, new coach, new lease on life. Trey Kell was playing like a basketball player rather than me in C grade. It was good.
Very good.
Mate, New Zealand, look, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Anthony Lamb's out. He plays I would say, the biggest role in the team. I think Cheatham, Parker Jackson Cartwright, I could even see Cheatham sliding across and Mango playing a bit more of a role at center so that Cheatham can play a bit more power forward. Even Will McDowell-White can find himself with some shooting guard minutes, Ribs to Vicious. I think they're going to do it by committee. There's not going to be a guy that steps in to the Anthony Lamb role, is there?
No. I think you've hit the nail on the head there. That it's going to be done by committee. I don't mind the idea of Mango playing more at centre. Cheatham, we know, can play inside, outside. He can move. The shot's still a little bit suspect. It's not like Anthony Lamb, who was a genuine three-point threat who could also take you down the post. They've lost a massive piece of what they do. However, Cheatham was meant to be their guy before Anthony Lamb came to the party. They realised how good he was. So, look, I definitely see Cheatham becoming much more of a focus. We know he struggled with foul trouble too, so there's a bit of a red flag there if we're bringing him in. But I think you have to bring him in. He's going to play.
Cheatham's must-own for me.
Yeah. With the other minutes that are going to go around, though, because Cheatham was already playing big minutes. Mango might play a bit. You might see an extra couple of spot minutes from Dane Pinot, but I feel like you're going to get more out of that 3 spot. Abercrombie might come in. He plays at 3 up to a small ball 4. And Rooster Vicious. I think those two are probably your beneficiaries. Look, Rooster Vicious has been great. Abercrombie's been doing it for years. He's a lockdown defender. I don't see anyone else really. What will happen? They bring Liafa in for a few more minutes or McDowell wide, and then everyone shifts up a position. It's just going to be like that, isn't it?
I think so. I'm not sure I see Rooster Vicious as Supercoach relevant or not. Bringing in Rooster Vicious 2 games from the end of your season to do anything. I think Cheatham is must own. I think Parker Jackson Cartwright is must own. I think they're going to become your 2 guys. Will McDowell White will get good minutes. Rooster Vicious will play good minutes. Liafa will play good minutes, but I'm not sure they're Supercoach relevant.
It's not end of the world stuff, though, because you imagine your power forward centre position in some combination is going to be filled between Sam Froling, Gary Clark, would have been Lamb, probably now Cheatham. So your starters are sorted. It's just that your bench gets weaker. It's more the 2 guard spots that are the worry this week, and then the difference, because a lot of these teams we're seeing are going to be very similar.
I might honestly
3 and a couple of guards.
I might honestly still be holding Lamb until next week.
That's done worse. I've got Bawali Bales and Krislovic for half a season.
Yeah, at least they get -2. Like Lamb's at least going to get me 0.
Won't drop price either.
Look, I've got Gaz, I've got Froling, I've got Robinson. Look, we've chatted enough about New Zealand and the guys that we could target.
Hang on. Rob's punt.
Go on.
Let's answer his question. Gary Clark or Zylan Cheatham, if you had to pick?
Gaz.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if both of them average over 38 per game next week, though.
Look, they're both great. This is where you whip out your usual fake Spanish or whatever it is with your Mikasa, Sukasa, my house.
If there's a world where you can get both, if you have 2 trades and you can find a way to get both of those guys, you've just hit a home run this week.
Yeah, for sure. Beautiful.
I really like Brano's question earlier. Who's your pick of the Illawarra guards? Because there's a bit of a timeshare. There's a bit of a job share. I think they're running with whoever's hot at the time. It was Robinson in the last game, but Harvey's worth more money because he's been scoring better. He's got a 3-round average of 42. I don't know what Justin Robinson's 3-round average, but as an owner, I can tell you what, it's not 42.
I think Harvey's the choice. If you put aside the recency bias of the round that Robinson had, Harvey starts. There's been games where Robinson's played all of 10 to 15 minutes off that bench. It's just that he came on, he had an impact early in this one, and they rode him for a bit longer. Look, I was really high on Robinson at the start of the year, and I've been severely disappointed. But Harvey was pretty ordinary on the weekend too. So I don't think you're getting a great play with either, but I'd probably hedge my bets and say Harvey's the safer option there.
I think now that I own Robinson, I would prefer Harvey. But now that I've made my bed, I'm not like going to burn a trade to go Robinson to Harvey or anything stupid like that.
Yeah. Also, if Brano's listening, I think the best guard out of Illawarra is probably Bawali Bale, so you should jump on that.
I think I think what you were saying is hammer is in Spanish. They call it fuck you. So yeah, thanks, Brandon. Yeah. Let's head down to Illawarra. I think that's down from New Zealand. It's probably not. It's probably sideways. But you want Gary Clark. You want Sam Froling. You want probably one of Robinson and Tyler Harvey.
Potentially. I don't, like we said before, I'm probably of the opinion that a Cotton, possibly a Kell, may be better than a Robinson on a double. I wouldn't be selling, the whole everything to bring them in if I didn't already own them. It really just depends how many trades you got up your sleeve, but who are you getting rid of to get Robinson at that price?
Milton Doyle and banking 100K. Jack McVeigh. Like all these guys that are on doubles. You can go a Kell down and bank 100K. The worst thing is I'm finding I have Cheatham and Gary Clark. So I'm struggling to bring in anyone at forward. I don't want anyone at forward, basically, after having Gary Clark and Cheatham. So that's why I'm benching Lamb. And I want to bring in Parker Jackson Cartwright and somebody else. That's basically where I'm at.
Probably the luxury I've had with Lamb is that I was playing Jack McVeigh at guard. So I can get rid of Lamb, move Jack McVeigh to forward, and I can spend that cash at guard. So that's the silver lining out of this entire shit show.
Lamb being out has really cucked us. They're the two. And then when we go into the following week, who would you consider going a week early from, I think it's Perth and Melbourne? Is it just Cotton? Is it an easy pivot to get Cotton in this week? Expect 40. And then if it looks like he's going to get rested next week, trade him back out again. At least you can go to anyone from Cotton.
Exactly.
I don't know.
And that's the luxury of having some highly priced players. You can pivot, wherever you need to without having to make multiple trades. Cotton's a target. JLA is probably the only one from Melbourne I'd look at, or maybe Travers. However, Travers at forward, you're pretty log jam with Gary Clark, Cheatham. Are you really gonna get rid of them unless you're really after a pod and you hope Cheatham stinks it up? There's not really much else, is there? I don't see anyone else from Melbourne really going big. Pinder might be an option, or Doolittle.
But I wouldn't go a week early on Pinder. He's been so bad that he's went and got 53. I can only imagine what that is. Went and got 53 last week. Loz, it's 8:00. And he's went and got 53 and he could just bang out 20 this week and then everybody's completely off him going into next week. That's where I'm at with Pinder.
I've just completely lost everything you just said.
Pinder, the Pinder beast.
The Pinder. Yeah, for sure. I agree 100%.
Thanks for that. I think I hit the nail on the head with that one. And if I was bringing in anyone from Melbourne, maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll just go Lamb to Travis and just roll the dice. I don't know.
If you've got a guy who's scoring 0, you could go to Travis and be very confident that you're going to score more than a 0, as long as he plays. But look, I don't love your idea of holding Lamb. I think I don't know what flexibility you got position-wise, and even if you downgrade to maybe like a Mango or a Rooster Vicious, if you got a spare tray, I don't know. Anyone got a boost left?
No.
Does the community team got a boost?
Yeah, the community team does. I think they're going to boost out of their Adelaide players, I believe, this week.
Sensational.
Can I just mention that Braino's going on about my geography matches New Zealand and Germany, and Rob Spunk is saying my Spanish is second to none. So, yeah.
Siesta.
Look, I could bring in like a Harvey or someone. I think it's Parker Jackson Cartwright and somebody at forward. And I will make my mind up in the next 20 minutes when we get to our trades.
Yeah.
Should we go through our most traded in and out, which is maybe going to double tap some of these discussions we're having anyway?
Yeah, let's run through it.
Do we want to go hot or cold first?
Oh, I like that cold in here clip. Play that one. Must be in the atmosphere. What do we got in the cold side?
Well, my internet's slow, but 18.6% of people are trading out Anthony Lamb this week. And
I wonder why.
Lucky Australia
that seems
over.
awfully low.
Lucky Australia Day's over because we love our Lamb.
Silence of the Lambs. We're not hearing from that guy for the rest of the season.
Trey Kell is the next guy traded out. I think he's a guy you could play on a single in Brisbane. Yeah,
I think so. It's a lot of money now, isn't it? I mean, a lot of guys picked him up pretty cheap, so you're cashing in now. But it's a lot to hold on your bench, isn't it? If you're going to go to maybe a Harvey or a Robinson, isn't it?
I think it's maybe going a Kell to maybe I'll try and hold Kell. I think he'll score well. I have a lot of confidence after he's 83 in the last week. Hold him, and then if it looks like Cotton's going to play next week, I can go Kell to Cotton.
Yeah, I was almost in Kell to Cotton this week.
Yeah, so was I, but that means I don't play Anthony Lamb, and I think you talked me... That means I keep Anthony Lamb, and I think you've talked me out of that one. I just hate forwards, and I'm not finding a lot of guys in forward that I want. But I'll have a bit of a chat about who I've researched my way into when I get to the trade section. Right. Isaac Humphries, much the same as Trey Kell. Look, he's 334K. I am going to be holding him this week. I was going to be trading him out until Anthony Lamb got injured. He's the easiest one to go to JLA next week.
Yeah, I think that's it. Like I was in a similar boat with Hump. I was going to hold Lamb. Had Zion Cheatham was going to play him on the bench. Didn't need any trades there at forward, and was possibly going to downgrade to maybe a Mango or something and get some cash to play around with. But best laid plans, eh?
Yep. Will Magnay's getting traded out. I suppose that runs over. He's not on doubles anymore. DJ 3J, exactly the same thing.
Yeah, there's no surprises in this list, is there?
Mitch Creek, people have accidentally kept him an extra week. They're using their 400K to go to like anyone else.
That was rough though, man. He commentated the Friday night game and gave nothing away about the fact he wasn't playing Saturday. Unbelievable. This ruined Supercoach seasons.
Jack McVeigh, Milton Doyle, mate, everybody's just getting off these guys because they're not on doubles anymore. Let's have a look at... This is why I'm hot. Mate, my pot of Zylan Cheatham. And suddenly everybody's getting on board. I tell you what, as a creator, I've made some impact. It's definitely nothing to do with his play or Anthony Lamb getting, banged up.
You are an influencer. Hashtag
thank you.
Matrix.
It means a lot, especially coming from you. Parker Jackson Cartwright, 15.6% of people are getting him in, and I am going to be one of those guys.
Yeah, me too, most likely. He's look, I don't think the whole Will McDowell-White thing has had too much of an impact. Parker Jackson Cartwright's going to be the guy. We've lost a lot of scoring with Anthony Lamb out. Look to see PJC try and just heat up, hoik up a few shots. You're not going to get that kind of scoring production from Will McDowell-White.
Nope. Gaz Clark, people haven't obviously rectifying the mistake of not having him for 4 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, he's consistently good.
He's consistently him.
Mango,
Mango, 187K. I can't argue with this. I would.
Yeah.
I'm toying with the idea of maybe a Mango outscoring a really good player over 4 games instead of 2 or 3 games.
Yep.
But I would need some convincing.
Look, I just don't see. They've got no backup centre. They refuse to play Dame Pinot, which blows me away considering how SuperCoach relevant he was a few seasons ago. But look, what are they going to do when Zion Cheatham's in foul trouble or he needs a blow, needs to go to the bench, whatever it is? Mango's going to have to play. He's been starting as it is normally. You got to see at least an extra 10 minutes a game, right? But he
He's
has burnt a
priced
lot
at
of it.
He's priced at like a 15 average, and he's averaged 26 in his last 3 matches.
Yeah.
I honestly think Cheatham's going to have to play a bit of power forward with Mango playing center with Liam
Yep.
out. That's the way that to get their best 5 players out there. I can't imagine there's any other way you can do it.
Does playing Cheatham at the 4 start to affect guys like PJC because it's going to be very clogged in the lane considering these guys don't really operate very well outside the key compared to an Anthony Lamb?
Yeah, probably. That's why you need to have them all.
Perhaps.
Why not? Justin Robinson, 235K. I'm with you. If I was bringing in a Illawarra guard, it would be Tyler Harvey, not Justin Robinson. And I don't really understand why 4% of people are bringing in Tyler Harvey and 8% of people are bringing in Justin Robinson.
A little odd. Maybe it's a price thing. Maybe there's just not enough cash to bring in Harvey. But, yeah, look, it's almost like voting in Australia, isn't it? You're not really choosing someone. You're voting against the other one. It's neither option are great.
And you have to vote in Australia. So you have to pick one.
Yeah. So I guess we're going to go Harvey.
Sam Froling, 316K. I have absolutely no idea, even after he's 15, why you don't own him.
He had a pretty awful weekend though. He's better than that. Surely he turns it around. And look, they won despite how bad he was, but he spent a lot of time on the pine down the stretch, and your boy Pidgeotto got it done. He was very solid as a bench option.
Yeah. Pinder, 3.8% of people are getting him in. That is a direct knee-jerk reaction to his 53.
100%. And the kind of guys who bring Pinder in are probably the same guys who are carrying Tamagotchis around. Absolute spoons.
Liafa at 136K, playing 4 games in the next 2 weeks. If you needed to downgrade, I completely understand.
Yeah.
And for some reason, 1.4% of people, 72 people are bringing in Anthony Lamb. So what you do on your current Android device or your iPhone is you hold down the screen, and then when you see the little logo of SuperCoach and there's a little red cross beside it, you press it and you delete app.
Oh, man. Wow, they walk amongst us. This is confronting.
Look, let's start heading into our trade so we can answer some of these questions.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to report a trade.
Go first, because I still haven't worked mine out.
Look, I've made one trade. I've got one sitting on my sleeve. I don't quite know what I'm going to do, but I've gotten rid of Anthony Lamb, and I bought in PJC. So, look, I can see Braino doing a bit of Rain Man, trying to calculate and count cards and see what I've got since I'm playing him in head-to-head this week. So I might leave it at that for now. But, look, all the options we talked about, I'm playing at. I'm just feeling a little weak in the guard spot. So got a little tinkering to do.
So I've actually just done my 2 trades. And I'm not 100% sure how I feel about it because I never thought I'd be bringing in Luke Travis this week. But I think I am. I don't have the flexibility of having a guard forward in my guard spot. So I want to trade out DJ3J. He's got that low floor, which I'm going to be disappointed if he just gets a 10. So I'm going DJ3J to Parker Jackson Cartwright. I'm going Anthony Lamb to Luke Travis because I don't like anyone else. I don't like a Young Lee. I've already owned Gary Clark. I already own Cheatham. I'm going to be starting those two regardless. So Travis just becomes a bench guard for me this week. And he just sits. What's that?
What's Travis worth?
357K. So paying up 7K from Anthony Lamb, averages 28.9. That means I'm holding Humphreys. I'm holding Trey Kell on the bench. I also toyed with bringing Cotton for Trey Kell, but I do just think Trey Kell will just do as well. I do like the matchup for Trey Kell against Brisbane. Look, I think Taj McCall or someone maybe tries to pick him up in Perth. I don't think you can ever stop Cotton, but it might stifle him. And then I can just bring in Cotton next week with a Trey Kell if it looks like he's playing. So maybe a Humphreys and a Trey Kell out next week to a JLA and hopefully a JLA and a Cotton I can afford next week. So that means I'm starting Parker Jackson Cartwright, Justin Robinson, Zylan Cheatham, Gary Clark, and Sam Froling with Travis, Todd Blanchfield, Isaac Humphreys, Trey Kell, and Will McDowell-White on my bench.
Very nicely done. Sensational.
Mate, should we talk about captains?
Do it.
Captain, my captain. Go captain, my captain.
Mate, what are you thinking?
I've narrowed down to 3. Gary Clark, Zylan Cheatham, Parker Jackson Cartwright. And if you want a smoky on the outside, rolling, but I'm not liking that one. So, look, I'd probably be looking at Clark and Cheatham as my two options. What about yourself?
They're the matchups that I like this week as well. But I'm just not sure. I just spent the last 2 weeks trying to pod captains and cost myself probably 60 points a week. I think I'm just going to go with Gary Clark. Gary Clark is going to be the most popular captain this week. I, at 400, don't really need to roll the dice. I'm going to let other people try to roll the dice and try and knock me off and hopefully move a few spots back so that I can move forward. I'm in really good stead this week with 5, 6, 7 players on doubles.
Very nice.
Let's have a little bit of a chat about some of these questions because they've been running hot.
Yeah.
It's question time. Let's answer your questions for the week ahead.
Now, be patient. There's been plenty going on. We've already answered Braino's question. But Theo Manos, friend and fan of the show, his trade is Creek out and Armstrong in, Harvey and Creek and Armstrong out, Harvey and Cheatham in, thinking Joe Luala-Chul for the last week. Who do we think that he should trade out, Doyle or Cotton?
Doyle.
Yeah, he's playing one less game than Cotton the next couple games.
I think it's as simple as that. You can hold Cotton. He's done for the year. You got him for that last round. Doyle is stick a fork in him. He's done.
Even if Cotton sits one game, which we're hoping he doesn't, even if he does sit one game, we can just
call it even.
Still get the same out of Cotton.
I think so. Look, they're both in similar positions. I think Tassie will lock up third, Perth will lock up second, and after this weekend, it'll be a done deal. So we talk about resting. Whether they do or not, they've both got the same incentive to do it. So look, Cotton's your guy. Two games in the last round as a captain option. Don't get rid of him.
This one I think is a question. Surely you can't go early on, for example, Perth. what if Cotton gets injured a week early and you have to burn some valuable trades?
Where was this guy last week saying, surely you can't go early on Lamb? He might tear his Achilles and ruin your entire season.
Because that was me. And yes, maybe that's a lesson to be learnt. But like if you're going a Trey Kell to Cotton, I can't argue with the fact that he's going to play an extra game. Like Trey Kell could also get injured and you own him. Like anyone can get injured at any time. Not just players from Perth.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't think it matters. Cotton's fine.
If I had to pick one player to benefit from Lamb's injury, it's probably Zylan Cheatham.
Yeah, 100%. He's the main beneficiary. Not that his minutes will increase. They may slightly, but the role's going to increase. He's going to be a focus. What else they got in the front court to put the ball in the bucket? Mango gets to catch the ball most weeks. Everyone else is on the perimeter. Dame Pinot hasn't played since that standout season he had in Southeast Melbourne. Cheatham's your guy.
Yeah, that's a really good question. That was what players benefit from Lamb's injury the most from Global. Selcook back again. He's loading up for round 20. He's got 216K left in the bank and asking whether we go White. I presume it's Isaac White, Liafa, Ian, I'm presuming Ian Clark or Jesse Wagstaff. I'm probably going Liafa just due to playing the extra game.
I'd go with Liafa. I don't like any of those options, really. Like 216K left. I mean, what? Let's have a quick look. We'll see what we can afford at that price. Surely there's got to be a better option than that.
Yeah, you'd think so with 216K, like maybe a Mango, or Mango's only 187K.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's still a bit of value out there. Like Mango's going to play 4 games and he's 187K. I know Liafa's playing 4 games and he's 135K, but
yeah. What about Aldrich?
Yeah, look, Aldrich was good last game. Sounded like Froling got benched a little bit for him. Yeah, I don't hate it.
What else you got? You got Isaiah Liafa, Will McDowell-White.
Yeah.
He's 105K.
Todd Blanchfield.
Lee, 166.
I prefer Blanchfield over Liafa.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'd take all those over Liafa. Toddy Blanchfield, 145K.
Is Usher still under that money? No, he's 233 now. Sorry, ignore me.
Yeah.
You know, Chris Goulding's only 218K.
Solid.
You could downgrade to a Chris Goulding and have a punt that he just fucking runs hot in the last game.
Absolutely. Talking of running hot, Austin Rapp from Southeast Melbourne didn't play this last weekend because he was playing for the Victorian under-20 state team at the Nationals. Did you see the finish to the final?
Yes, that was bonkers. And the run out of the stadium finish was that's a phenomenal celebration.
He called game, and that was on that Roman Salupa's head, man. 104 all, turnaround, nothing but net. That was wow. That was impressive.
They were all over. He was all over him like white on rice too. That was well defended.
Man, he elevated like you couldn't have done anything else. Like he threw up a prayer and it just looked good from the second left his hand. But have I ever told you about the time that I was at Nationals and Delhi and I combined for 36 points?
Yeah, how many did you score?
Well, he had 34.
Yes, I think I have heard that actually.
It is what it is. He probably recalls it just as fondly as I do.
Yeah. I think he actually tells it around the dinner table a little bit.
Yeah, it sort of just slips in right after that, championship next to LeBron.
Yeah, right up there where he went to hospital from drinking too many coffees.
Yeah, apparently.
Corey Blackledge is asking, which two does he trade out between McVeigh, Kell, or Hump this week?
Ooh.
McVeigh and Hump, but I just don't know who you bring in for Hump. That's where I'm stuck. I think you can bring in better players for Kell.
If you've got McVeigh, though, it might be the difference of being able to massage Lamb into a guard, if that's the way you want to go, because of his dual position. Hump, you could easily downgrade to a Mango or an Aldrich. Both of them are going to play 4 games now. Both have similar-ish bench roles. But then you got cash, you got to do something with it if you're cash poor.
I hate downgrading now. Like, I just wonder if Hump's probably just going to score as many as Mango and Aldrich this week.
Yeah, but I think the reason you do it, though, is if you need that extra cash to bring in a Cotton or someone next week.
Yeah, but Kell, you can nearly go sideways to Cotton.
Pretty much, yeah. So,
just hold Kell a week, go McVeigh to... I would go McVeigh and Hump if you have somebody to go to at center. Otherwise, go Kell, just go early on a Cotton, and Hump will be good. He'll get you 30.
Do it.
I just want to mention again that Brano's doing whatever the opposite of you say. And that Matty Spanish is second to none. Thanks, Rob's Punk. Sending a Matrix live trade. Yes, that was Luke Travis coming in. Arson is mentioning that it's Cheatham season, and yes, I'm probably going to have a chat to somebody about my internet. It's awful.
You know what's been it's been eating at me all year, Matrix. Last comment, Arson. Is that? I've always been reading that as Arse Dragon. I was like, what is this guy's kink?
It's Arson Dragon.
Oh, I was like, this guy's like got a little bit of a fetish, old Arse Dragon. But okay, it makes a lot more sense now that you've said it.
What is your projected score this week? Rob Punk's projected score is 390. Mine is 445. But I haven't got it right yet. So
mine doesn't show up because I'm still on the unpaid subscription.
Oh, yeah, excellent. Thanks. That's fantastic. You tight cunt. Corey Blackledge, does he trade Young Lee? I'm presuming it's Young Lee because they definitely trade Marcus Lee. Do you trade Lee or hold? I am not seeing any upside in Young Lee at the moment, but with 4 games, I actually don't think he's worth trading out, if you know what I mean. Like, the answer is yes, if you have a luxury trade him out, but I think that you probably just hold.
Yeah, I think so. At this stage, if it's obviously going to be a bench spot, has the potential to pop up big. You can do a lot more with your trade. So that's not one I'll be worrying about. I've got way worse players sitting on my bench.
We did have a chat a little earlier about who trading out. He actually doesn't have Lamb and already has Cotton. So he would go Kell to PJC and he would do Hump to Mathiang.
Can't do Mathiang.
I don't know why you wouldn't be able to do Hump to Mathiang considering you've got 150k there. Are you sitting on minus 200k, mate?
Yeah, I don't know. Probably the only other one similar to Mathiang would be Aldrich.
Yeah, I prefer Mathiang over Aldrich this week. Like, I know you keep bringing up Aldrich, but
I kind of like Hump over both of them.
Yeah, cool. He's obviously got to downgrade someone. Maybe you could downgrade a McVeigh to a Todd Blanchfield to give you the money to go to give you some flexibility elsewhere. Kell to PJC is actually a downgrade, so you're going to bank 50k. You can.
Just on a side note, do you think Dane Pinot gets meaningful minutes now? Is he going to get something? Like, if you want to downgrade to a 50k player, is he going to get?
He's a good enough. He's a good enough. Get you 8 points.
Well, better than what Wiley Bales has got me in the last 16 weeks.
On that note, I'm sensing the what would I say, the salt in your voice.
Oh, there's some salt, all right. Mm.
Look, I think that wraps up our round 18 preview. I'm going to do a little bit of exactly how my trades finish up on the Discord. Just to see what happens. I'm going to go have a look at the community team now. We've got a couple days to handle it, which we're all riding on the community team now that they're 42nd overall.
Absolutely. So we're going to claim that as ours, man. That's going up in the bio.
Yeah. Good luck to Dave from Do It for Jack. I can really hope that he comes away with the ASX, and this will be a pivotal week this week for him. But yeah, apart from that, I think we've got to wrap it up.
Yeah. Let's call it time of death, 2037.
You've listened to an Insight Fantasy Sports podcast. Cheerio.